Well, all right. I think we got her going, boys and girls. It's Saturday afternoon here in Raven County, and I was sitting here and I had a couple things I wanted to take care of, so I decided I would get on here and chat and see what everybody else was doing uh, while I was messing around here. Anyway, let me show you this thing. Uh, oh, it's this it's this it's a little target model Ruger 2245 Mark III. It's 22 caliber long rifle little pistol. I got a little red dot sight on there. Uh, Let me show you that it's not loaded. No magazine. But the problem with this thing is that let me change. I got some new. Anyway, the problem with this thing is that it would shoot fine, but occasionally it would jam, and the jam was a stovepipe, and that's where the round didn't fully eject, and it tried to feed another one, but the fired round, the top of it would be sticking out of the chamber, and there'd be a little bit of smoke coming out of it, and they call it a stovepipe. Well, that's the issue I was having with it. And I got to doing some research on the YouTube, and the suggestion was it had to do with the let me turn that background down a little bit. It was suggested that it had to do with the magazine, and this feed ramp, this front edge of this feed ramp was somehow not allowing the round to fully eject, kick off. And so the suggestion is, and by more than just one person, that you round off the front edge. And let me change to the we changed it overhead. But the suggestion was that you round off this part of the feed. I'm trying to get it in focus for y'all. It's that sharp edge right here. They said if you round that off, that it would solve the issue. And so I thought I'd do that. And focus. So the first thing you got to do, I've already done one. Let me show you what I've done before I get started on that one. All right, come up, focus. These old cameras. The operator would have seen now how that one is rounded off. And some of them round them off more than that, but I believe in taking baby steps. So I'm going to round the other one off about the same way as I have that one. And I practiced before I got on here, and I just thought I'd share this. This assembly of this thing is pretty simple. It's got a little pin down here, and you push that pin until this starts to slide forward. Now be careful. You can see where I've loosened it. Be careful. Capture that spring and hold it, because it's going to want to jump. There she goes right there. Capture that spring. All right. There's the butt and there's the spring. And then you slide this button forward, and you see this hole right here? When you slide that forward, you can lift that button out. Let me see if I can get you a picture of how that's designed. Yeah, it's got a groove. So that'll ride in that groove here. And then you shake out the follower. And it's got a little hole there that the other side of that pin rests in. Now let's see if I can get you a shot of how sharp that edge is. Now, see how sharp that edge is right here? They say that catches it. It's right there at the tip of my fingernail. So what I did is I got a little old bitty diamond flat file here. I don't know if it'll focus or not. It's a little diamond flat file. I use it when I do some silversmithing. But I just took it and I held it across both of them. Some old boys get in there with a Dremel tool and do one side at a time. My biggest fear, yeah, they would get in here with a Dremel tool. Let me see if I can get you a shot. They would get in with a Dremel tool. And do just one side at a time. Well, my biggest fear is I would get uneven and cause some bad feed and up the ramp. You know, it'd feed off this way or feed off that way. And so instead, and I got a Dremel tool. I just decided instead of using a Dremel tool is take a file and I could rest it on both the edges and file straight across there. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and I figured I can sit here and talk to you guys and see what's going on. I know deer season's in full swing. It is a beautiful morning to get out there and do some deer hunting. And if any of y'all had some success, I sure would like to hear about it while I'm sitting here filing on this thing. Y'all can hear me file. I'm working on it. I'm using a boom mic so that I could have more space here on the desk. And I could zoom in, but man. Anyway, let me change this back so I can look at y'all. And y'all can watch me work. Anyway, I just thought I'd get on here since I'm sitting here and see what everybody else might be doing. If anybody else swung by on their daily cruise about the internet, and give me a shout out. And I just sit here and file. And I got another gun. Maybe y'all can help me. I think it's a PT-99, an older model Taurus. I bet that thing's 30 something years old. I need to look the serial number up on it and see how long I've had that darn thing. But you know, I had it in the truck out there, and I went to get it out for some reason the other day and noticed it had some it was like surface rust on it, just a light surface rust there at the thumb rest. And I thought I'd bring it in and give it a little cleaning this morning and put some neat foot oil on the holster. And I figure I could sit here for an hour and chat with y'all if somebody wants to pop in and say hello. If not, I'll just sit here and talk to myself and have fun doing it, I reckon. Get better at talking while I'm doing something. It gives me practice. Who knows, man? YouTube don't charge nothing, and I can improve the skill set. So somebody might be watching this. You go, I know, I got the same problem. And I'm not gonna take off a lot. I'll test fire it and see if I still have the same trouble. There's some other issues they have. You'll have to look it up if you've got one of the. I'm not dissatisfied with the pistol. It's just a pain in the butt when you're out there and when you're out there and you're plinking and it jams up and I figured that's a little bit off, but I figure I could get in here and see if I can improve that and take care of that issue on that carry before I put it back in the truck. Now, when I get through filing this thing down, I'll clean it up. I'll polish it. And then they got some old boys that get in there with a polishing wheel on their Dremel and give it a high polish. And I got some blue there, but I doubt I'll even blue it. I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll give it a good oiling. I guess I should. It wouldn't take but a minute to blue it. Just where I'm scratching it here and polishing it. It won't take much more of a step. Anybody out there paying attention to this? This is like I said, this is the magazine off that Ruger 2245 Mark III. It's a 22 long rifle, and I guess it's known for that stovepipe kind of jam because there was several videos out there about people doing this kind of procedure on it, and when I looked at it, I said that makes sense. It's they mass produce these things, and I'm sure there's nobody at the factory giving them a thorough inspection and it's machine clipped and folded and put together, and it's not like the old Smith and Wesson days where a guy sat at a bench and tuned them up. And I'm not a gunsmith, so don't take my word for anything. Y'all do your own research and make your own decisions. I'm just sitting here and decide to be social, see if anybody stopped in. And if you send me something on the chats, I'll be sure and respond. Maybe you had the same. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe y'all having the same problem with this kind of little old pistol and say, hey man, thanks for wondered why that thing was doing that. That helped me out. And then you can go on to YouTube and do your own research. I can get on here and I could get the tools out and hunk down on this thing, but I ain't going to. Well, it's good for deer hunting. I wonder how successful everybody was this morning. Now, this is a diamond file. It's not set to cut any particular way. Well, it's a cross cut. You can look at it. It'll focus. And you can tell that it file both ways. Yeah, there it is. Well, maybe not, but yeah, it looks like it's a crosshatch file. Anyway. Yeah, it might be a one-way cut the way it's working now. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be using this file. Here I am putting iron shavings in it, and I work with silver from time to time. It's liable to put old rust in the final artwork. Somebody will be complaining he's selling some bill of goods. I don't care. Nobody wants to buy it anyway. I just make it for myself and family. I enjoy doing it. I reckon that's what matters. Let's see how it looks compared to the other one. I ain't This is the one I done earlier right here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah. See how this one looks. Yeah, that's looking a little rounder. I'm gonna work on it a little bit more. Yeah, made meatloaf yesterday. Wife's out of town. I guess I'll be eating meatloaf for the next 3 or 4 days. I did get up this morning and cook that sausage. It was in the refrigerator. I ain't even had lunch yet. Such a good breakfast. How long have we been doing this now? Well, looks like doing it a while. Let me give y'all this view again just so you can see. Been working on these old views here. Anyway, I just decided to go one way. It seems to be cutting a little smoother. And I gotta hold it down because my eyes ain't what they used to be. I need a good background. Yeah, I see we just rounding off that. Oh, there you go. Trying to make it so y'all can see what I'm doing. And I'm running across both edges trying to keep it uniform so it don't want to pull one way or the other. Friction of the bullet riding up out of there. I done both of them. Now if I'm done screwed this up, I'm going to have to be buying 2 new. That feels pretty smooth. Y'all tell me which thing. I can't focus. There we go. There. That took them points off pretty good. I'm going to leave it like that. And now I've got some 240 paper here. And I'm just going to kind of go in there and sand it, make sure I didn't generate any sharp edges. You know, it's kind of like when you cut a camphor. Make sure I don't have any camphor edges. That's the main thing. I don't want to really take any more material off. Just want to knock the camphors off. Yeah. Just knocking that. It's been kind of smooth, I guess. Anyway, y'all tell me what you're doing. Out there running around, going to Wally World, going to the grocery store, getting all your chores done, getting ready for church in the morning. Tell me where you go to church. All right. Now this is a 220 grit. I'm kind of rubbing it, making the table bounce better. Well, that camera's not attached to it. All right, give it a little feel. All right, now all them other boys, they's doing polishing. What I got here is a piece of 1500, supposed to be wet sand, but I'm just using it to polish them edges. Just to knock any of that rough stuff off. And you know, it's metal. You work on metal, You can see I'm taking a little bit of that finish out. Let me see if I can get it focused. Yeah, you can see I'm taking a little bit of that finish off. As those edges look. You can see a little rough files in there, but that's not really the concern area. It's that top of that ramp. So I'm gonna clean that up. Try and keep it in the camera for y'all. Send me a message if you're scrolling by Raven County Rag. You know, I do a live stream every Thursday night. Do a live stream. Talk about local events. Talk about hunting season. Talk about some of the stuff we got around here. I think we talk about every week about foxfire and how important that is, our culture. I moved to Rabun County about 8 years ago, but I have been coming up here for better than 50 years. On a regular basis, probably at least once a quarter, and at some points in my life more than that. Mostly for the fishing, camping, raising kids up here, brought them, showed them the serenity and the beauty. I've watched it change, especially up there on the lakes, man. I remember I used to we'd put a boat in at that lake at night, man, and they wasn't a darn light on that lake, and now there ain't nothing but McMansions all over the place up there. That feels pretty good. Now I'll give it quick cleaning. And you can use solvent. There's all kinds of solvents, but I keep a bottle of acetone. I got a big old jug of it. And I do have some gun type solvent, but I don't know. I'll use it in a little while when I go to clean that 9mm I got. But and this is the old Chinese chopstick. Go to a Chinese restaurant and you eat with the chopsticks, and I'll gather the one that everybody's chopsticks, bring them home, put them in the shop, and I use them for various things, you know. And I'm gonna wipe this down, and I put them in a can there in the shop, and it's amazing some of the things that I have used a Chinese chopstick for. And then I'm just gonna wad it up. I'm gonna take my old Chinese chopstick and push it up and down a couple times and make sure I get in all the corners. There we go. And there may be some lead buildup in there. Let's see how dirty that rag is. Yeah, it's not too dirty. But this gun probably ain't had 1,000 rounds shot through it. So I figure that's adequate. You know, if it needs a more aggressive cleaning, then I'll give it a more aggressive cleaning. And got some gun oil here. And, you know, I got rags here. I got those little blue shop rags, and I'll use them. But what I got here is a plain old Q-tip. And I tell you what, I'll take it and run it in like this as far as it'll go. All right, I'll do it from the bottom. And then the thing I like is you can kind of bend this thing and stick it through that opening right there and run it up through there just like that. And then twist it and do the other side just as well. And that gets down in there pretty good. Now when you finish up, you gotta check and make sure you didn't leave no lint in there, but cotton's pretty good. I mean, the swabs you use are cotton based, most of them. Let me look. Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. And now we go to the assembly process. First thing you do is put your follower in. You can see which way it goes. Look at that. They make these guns pretty darn simple. And then your spring goes in. You can see the round opening there. Okay. Whoop. Look at that. I almost goofed up. You gotta put your well, I can get set. And I don't guess it matters if it goes in the right or the left. But see that hole? Yeah, just reach down in there and bring that till it lines up with this hole right there. And I shot it out. You know what? I need my Chinese stick again. Watch this stuff. Get that hole lined up in there. And then drop that down in there. Push it forward. And it catches that thing. And then push your spring in. It's a springy thing now. I guess that's why they call them spring. But you don't want to bend that thing. Try and keep her straight until you get it loaded in. And then capture it with your thumb. Now, you see that right there? Well, maybe you can't. Yeah, you can right there. That's where the bottom of that spring wants to ride in. So what you got to do is capture that spring and then kind of push that until you capture it and it snaps right in place. I should have had that. I'm going to take that apart. You know what? Because I want that thing on the right hand side when I load them bullets in. That's what I want, so I'm going to change it. And that's simple. Remember, you gotta capture that spring. That thing can jump in your face, jump across. I thought I bent that spring for a minute. Jump across the room. Spent a half a day looking for a darn there. Spend a half a day looking for the darn thing. And then, yeah, look at that. Thing's giving me trouble. Push it down in there. Can y'all see fooling around with this thing? You younger fellas probably get this thing field dressed and back to running in a matter of a few minutes. My old eyeballs. Anyway. That thing. Woo. Yeah. I caught it though. See that thing shooting out, busting a camera lens will be my darn luck. Anyway. Push her down on there, boy. And snap her in. There you go. I keep my bullets in a little thing here. Let's see. I'm going to put 5. I think it holds 10. But I don't like to overstress that spring if I'm going to. And if 5 shots don't do the job, I'm running. It'd be 5 shots be enough to confuse somebody. Well, maybe I put 7. 2, 2, 4, 5. Looks like I put 6 in each one. I got 2 clips. That felt crooked. That feels pretty good. 2, 6. There's 8 now. No, I had a bent one. I hope I didn't grab that darn thing. I know I didn't. I knew it. Oh, I set it to the side. Yeah, I'll show you that kind of jam that thing created. Look at that. I'll see that. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. You can see where it's scraping the top of the bullet too, I think. Where's that? There it is. Yeah, it caught this thing and yeah. So that's a single shot right there. I'll fire it as a single shot, but I ain't gonna. I forgot to put this one together now. All right. There's a follower. Y'all get to watch me goof it up again. There's the follower. You can't see it's got a round hole that it'll fit in. You can't hardly screw it up. And you got to put your button in. I already cleaned this one. I just want to left it apart so I could show y'all. And ain't nobody gonna chat with me today. I guess everybody's too busy. That's all right. I don't care. YouTube don't charge nothing for me to sit here and do this. And like I said, I'm learning skill set. Who knows, man? One of these days, this is gonna be like an old-timey radio show. Yes, sir, boys and girls. Right here in Rabun County, we're gonna bring back the old time rate. Darn, I didn't put that one in there wrong too. Look at that. That's all right, we don't care. We don't care. Oh, caught that spring though. We don't care. Yeah, one of these days gonna be like the old time radio shows, you know. We gonna start out on Thursday nights. Before you know it, we'll be having Friday night specials with bluegrass bands and everybody wanting to get on the radio. Bars and the nightclubs and all that'll be tuning in to see what the local flavor is. We'll have some local bands come on here and give me some music so I can show them off to the visitors here and coming through the county. And the nightclubs will place on the radio. Place on the radio. Uh-oh. Does that feel right? Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. I always check. Make sure everything's loading right. I cleaned this on the live stream not long ago. I cleaned this little 22 and I got a, let's see. See there. Wonder how it's going. Yeah, it's pretty good. Of course, I never noticed it. I checked it the other way. I don't know if I know any difference or not. That one's got a little bit of heavier pull on it. Look at that. All right. Well, I'm gonna let it travel forward. Put it, hey, dry fire. Ain't one in the chamber. There we go. Y'all want to see this other one? How long we been doing this? It don't say how long the stream has been going anywhere. Yeah, it does. 34 minutes. Now, this is a futile attempt of mine to build a wet form holster for this pistol. And I wanted to make a pancake, but you know what? I just didn't have the experience level. And I just wanted something to be able to put on the belt in case I had to go somewhere and carry it. Most of the time it just stays somewhere. Anyway, let me show you what I saw. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Might just be a, no, look at that, right here. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna be able to do about that. Oh, let me check this thing. Show y'all that she's empty. Y'all see any brass in that hole? Don't see none. Y'all see none in that chamber, do you? This thing probably been in the pickup for a while, and it is a Taurus PT99 AF. And it says that it has been made in Brazil. Check that barrel. Y'all tell me. Let me see if I can get her into shot and sighted down the bore. Y'all tell me if it's, I need a light in there. Dang. Can't find a clean piece of white paper. How do y'all do this? I normally use a cleaning pad. Do I have a cleaning pad? I got a kit down there. Use a cleaning pad and put it against the back, and then kind of peek down the barrel. I'm trying to figure out the right angle for you. Yeah, that's good. Wait, what's that? Oh, look how clean and shiny that thing is. Look at that. What y'all think? Just run some lube down it, grease her up, or should I disassemble? What do y'all think? Yeah. What do you say? We take a look at what we got. How's everybody doing? Somebody say hello. This thing looks clean. It's that surface rust that's got me concerned. What in the world was that? Well, now that I got it apart, do I know how to get it back together? Y'all ever seen somebody take a gun apart so fast and can't get it back together? Well, that ought to say a lot about me, oughtn't it? Y'all go ahead and laugh. That's cool. Oh, that little lever right there. Flip her up. Now this is a dangerous gun. That little Ruger got a lot more safety on it than this thing does. You know, I'm gonna clean the exterior of it. Yeah, I think I'll run something down the barrel too. I don't think it's been fired in a while. I ain't gonna. got my little kit here. I got some solvent. This is just my kit here. And I got an oiling brush, and I got a solvent brush, and let's see what we got here. We got 20 minutes. Let's see if I can get this thing done in 20 minutes. All right. First thing, we gonna cage it back, and we gonna get a, let's see what this thing has got in it. Doggone. There we go. Now I'm gonna run some solvent down the barrel. I don't know why. And I'm gonna rub a little solvent on that grease. Boy, these are big old patches. Look at that. Did I get my? Did I leave that? See? Yeah. I got 2 or 3 of these kits around the house. But this was just for pistoles. Anyway, see what we got here. Yeah, I just use this one for the pistoles. And I try not to get too much of anything. Let's see how clean this thing's gonna come in and out. Oh, I forgot y'all's here. All right, look at that. Ain't no dirt on that to talk about. I got a little tin here. I'll put that to the side because I want to wipe down that rust spot. This gun's 30 years old or better, I believe. Oh, no. I about goofed myself up. I want to run the brush through there and break anything up with that solvent still floating in there. That's what I want to do. Boy, I like to get out of order. Y'all wouldn't even say anything. And now, some people have different opinions. Some people will stop that brush halfway through. Me, I run it all the way through because I can feel it twist and following the rifling. And yeah, I know it may not matter, but stopping the brush midway and trying to pull it back out, I'm worried about it damaging the barrel. And I run it through there 8 or 10 times, you know, just to break up any kind of goo-goo that's stuck in the rifling or on the surface. Like I said, I don't think this thing's been fired. And now some people run that wet patch right back through there. I don't do that. It don't matter. That's just a matter of preference. I've got a clean patch on here. Let's see if we broke out in. Oh, Lord. Boy, ain't I glad I decided. Look at that mess right there. Look at that mess. I'm going to have to run another patch down that hole. Look at that. Good night. Turn it this way. Flip it around. Send a fresh piece down there, and then, man, that was dirty, wasn't it, boys and girls? Shoot. Let's see what we come out with now. It's looking better. I'm glad we decided to, I might have fired this thing. I don't remember. Let me get one more patch. One more patch. Now, I got some blue here. I don't know whether I'm gonna I don't know. Let me see if I can just get that rust off that surface and maybe use a little steel wool. I'm out of picture again. I'm sorry, y'all. Alright, how's that look? Yeah, look at that. I'm gonna call that good. Let's double check that thing. Hey, can y'all get a picture in there? Can y'all see? Ooh. Look at that. Alright. Now, clean that one off. These are used with solvent, so I keep them separate. Now I'm gonna get me a clean patch out of here. Looks like I got a shortage of that size patch. That ain't gonna last good another year. And now here comes the gun oil. And I don't put a lot on there either, just a drop or two. And I rubber back and forth in there. And look at that, still getting some dirt up. Like old Kirby salesman one time. Came to the house and he put this filter on my vacuum cleaner, and my wife said, well, I just cleaned it today, and he put this old filter on there and vacuumed the rug, and boy, that thing was loaded. That filter was loaded up with dirt. And I said, let me see that filter. I said, let me see a fresh one. He gave me a fresh one, and I got out the old Weiss vacuum cleaner and plugged that filter in line like he did. And boy, you should have seen the filter after I got done. That thing was just as dirty. Oh boy, he was embarrassed as hell. I said, man, y'all here to make. Now I'm just giving the chamber a light coating there. And we're going to send her forward. Maybe. If I can figure out what I'm doing. And then. Now this gun here, boy, you got to be careful with it. It'll, I don't know. It's a good gun. Now I'm going to take that wet one that had that solvent on it, and I'm going to rub back here where that rust is. And I'm going to rub the outside of this gun down with that solvent just to get any grease and stain and any of that out of it, off of it. I'm going to rub it down back here in the back. And man, I got some steel wool here, but I'm not going to do that. I don't like it because I'm afraid I'm going to take the surface off. And if I take the surface off, then I got to glue it, and that's a whole nother nightmare. I don't think it's going to be that bad, honestly. And I just use the same swabs. It ain't. Let's see, this is all aluminum iodized. This is steel on the barrel and the action or the barrel and yeah, the action. So let's see what we got. That's the solvent rag that I sent down the first time. And this is the solvent rag I used after I ran the brush through it. So I'm going to give it a good wipe down with this now. And, make sure I get all that solvent off. And I got an old brush there. You see that old swab? I could really oil it down, but I think as long as you get a good coating on it, it'll be all right. And all I'm doing is using that dry semi-dry one where I kind of swabbed her out. And then this is that last one that I used. And I keep these old blue shop rags, you know. I have some of them old red mechanic ones, but I use them for oily stuff. But you see these right here, I just keep a bunch of them and I cut them in 4x4s or 3x3s or whatever. You could tell that. What do y'all think? I don't care if I go over. All right, now I think that's wiped down pretty good. Let me give y'all a look at that thing. How's that? I can see it looking a little rough back there, but God, I got a little still. I hate the thought of doing this. Every time you do this, you start taking off that blue. I don't like it. That's that back there where I guess that's just exposed where it sits in the truck. It's out of the holster. Yeah, look at that. Y'all tell me. What should I do? Is that gonna be okay? I'm gonna put some oil on it now. I think this is oil. Yeah. Watch her. Look at that. That's just left over from oil in the barrel too. Might have been left over from drying it out, but that's enough, man. That's enough. Look at that. I mean, that's enough oil. Yeah. You know, I could put another drop on there if I wanted. But now I'm worried about it being too darn much. I have to wipe it off again with something else. All you want to do is have enough oil on there to protect it from moisture. Not enough oil on there for it to start gumming up, holding moisture. Half cock it so I can get the trigger. This thing's got a half cock. It's a single, I mean, it's a double action too. You pull this thing out of the holster, she's ready to rock and roll. Well, you got to have that first round. I keep mine in the number 1. Safe on half cock. I don't want to be fooling around there. I assume they're all loaded, but I know where mine are. Condition mine are in. Just habit over the years. I don't want to have to be fooling around trying to cock a darn pistol, whether I did have it cocked. I guess there ain't nothing wrong with ejecting another round, but that might interfere with the other old boy's element of surprise, and I don't want him to get that large jump on me. Anyway, I hope it never comes to nothing like that, but you know, we got to be prepared. Taught to be prepared, and I be prepared the best I can. I'm a peaceful man. We all ought to be peaceful people. But that peace comes at a price. Courtesy comes at a price of not knowing. Anyway. Alright. What y'all think now? I didn't check out that back. What y'all think? Did I do alright on that? Don't see any place where there's too much lubricant on there. Alright. Now, one final thing. What did I do with it? Here it is. You know, this is a piece of leather. And I wet formed it So it's been stressed, and it sits in the weather. Well, not in the weather, but it sits where it has a chance to be hot, has a chance to be cold, and everywhere in between. Let me get my desk. Oh, I was going to show y'all. I got these two brushes. And if you see this one, this one has oil. And so instead of, see, I can get in all these other little places where that rag won't reach and make sure that there's some oil getting in those hard to reach places. Like in between here, you know, where the rag just kind of goes over the top of it. But you see, with this brush, and it's a cheap old brush, and I keep it in that gun kit for these pistols, because they, look at that. What is that? Got a little dirt on there. All right, can y'all see that? Anyway, and it takes up excess oil too, so you don't have too much. And it gets like up here on the sides. See, you can't get in all that with your rag. But this thing, with its bristles, can get down in those crevices. And you can even open the breech. Keep your finger out of the damn thing. You can even open the breech and get down in here, making sure everything gets a little coating of oil, and plus it picks out any kind of dirt. Safety first. Look at that thing. It's in the ready to go. Now I know it's empty, but I don't ever trust them. Put a half cock on it, and it won't go into safe because there's not a magazine. I got one there, and I got one that's got a solvent. If I'm giving it a hard clean, that one's marked with a solvent, and I'm in there cleaning in the operations end underneath there. I'm getting it all out. I'm digging it all out. So, and then this one's for oil for a general brush over. Anyway, that's how I do it. And I got just a couple minutes here. Anyway, where I was going with that is your holster. Your holster is a piece of leather. It's handmade, and I've got the inside. You can see it. It's got some coating on it, but I count on the oil from the weapon to go in there. But one thing I use is neat's foot oil once a year on my holsters, on my leather goods, boots, leather, anything like that. And I just rub it on there. A thin coat is all she's gonna need. All right. And that moisturizes that leather, because it's been hot and it's been cold all year long. And it will dry out the leather. And I keep this piece in there just for hell with it. And rub her down real good. Get it. If you have to, you don't want it sopping wet, but you want it to gleam like it's been oiled up and ready. But anyway, oil her down real good. All right, and you'll watch it. Watch that leather. It'll start to darken. Let's see how dark it's gotten just from this rub down. It will. It'll get a little dark. That's all right. And this has been finished. This leather's been finished. So it's going right through that finish and into the fibers. And it'll soak clean through to the other side, and it won't do it in a minute or two. It'll take it a while. But yeah. Got a little strap here. Make sure we get the strap wiped down. It'll soak through to the other side, but it won't be so heavy that it'll bother the firearm. Even though the firearm, it just helps protects the firearm is what it does. And you notice where that little bitty surface rust was the part that was exposed. Anyway, look at that. All right, now just to keep it ready, like I said, I use this little piece of leather here. Here, watch it. You can see from where it had already gotten exposed once before. So now I just keep that in there. All right, boys and girls, I sure appreciate it. And most dangerous part right there. Scares the fool out of me every time. Scares me. And you ought to have a little bit of fear. See, listen to that thing pop in there. Yeah. That's that old wet molding right there. Anyway, ready to go. Ready to go. I appreciate y'all coming along for the ride for this little bit of entertainment here. I don't see anybody that popped in and said hello, but if you watch it later, you're still part of the team, part of the crew. We have a live stream every Thursday night from 6 o'clock in the evening till 7 o'clock in the evening. Y'all stop by and let's talk about it. Talk about anything you want. Anyway, signing off. Thanks for watching. Let me change this. Signing off. Thanks for watching. Had a wonderful time with you here. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, until we see each other again, have a grateful day. I'm going to go eat me some leftover meatloaf. Have a grateful day.